All right, so every year I start off with an all about me PowerPoint or keynote presentation so that the kids in my class can see who I was growing up and who I am now and how I came to be who I am. So, parents, I thought maybe you would want to see it. So, here is my all about me presentation. So, there's a picture of me when I was born, and a little while later, baby pictures. And I think you'll probably see some similarities to my boys as we go along. Well, these are my grandparents. In the top corner on the left is my grandmother, my dad's mom, and then to her or to the right there is my grandfather, my dad's dad. The bottom left is my Opa Penner, as I like to call him, and that was my mom's mom. And then to the bottom left is my grandmother, my mom's mom. And that's a picture of her with me. Actually, they're all pictures of my grandparents with me when I was little, and they were really important people in my lives as I grew up. There's a picture of me riding a tricycle that my grandfather took. I just thought it was kind of a cool picture. And there's a picture of me with my dad. I think I'm a lot like my dad. My dad was a teacher. He's now retired, and he was a teacher in Coquitlam, actually, so I kind of followed in his footsteps. This is a picture of me. I'm the oldest there, and so I'm in the check shirt, and my two younger brothers, Steve and Dave. Yeah, we're still pretty close now, and so I have three boys, and I grew up in a family of three boys. So it's very interesting, and I think you'll see that James and I look a lot alike. There's a picture of me at a park near the house where we grew up with my mom and my brother Steve, and then a picture of me and Steve getting Tonka trucks on Christmas from our uncles. They were our favorite presents that year. We rode them up and down the hallway many times. I think it drove my mom crazy, but they sure were fun, and those trucks lasted a long time. Sure don't build them like that anymore. When I was when I was in grade 7, my family took a trip to Disneyland. You can see the fashion in 1985 was pretty great. So, and my dad's sporting a pretty wicked mustache there. So, I don't know if Disneyland has changed much, but I'm sure the fashion has. Every summer, my family would go up to a Soyuz. There's me, I'm probably about 13 or so, riding the forerunner of the Sea-Doo or whatever you want to call them nowadays. This was a motorized surfboard. Didn't go all that fast. And this was our first dog. So this little guy over here was Mickey. He was a poodle cross. And yeah, he was the most vicious little dog. We were all scared of him, especially when he was eating. Oh man, that dog would take a chunk out of you if you weren't careful. Pictures of myself with my brothers and our dog Saul. My brothers and I played a lot of sports together. We hung out a lot together. We're now separated a little bit by distance, but we still like to spend a lot of time together when we can. And this is a picture of Aaron and I before we got married. We were dating. This is out at Whitecliff Park. And the reason Aaron's laughing is because I set the camera up on a tripod, and I ran up there to take the picture, and I jumped into place, and I almost knocked her over, and I grabbed her just before the camera went. So it's kind of an action shot, but it was unintended. I grew up playing a lot of soccer, And this is when I was a young adult. My team went to the final, so this is us playing at Town Center before it was turf. So that was a few years ago. And yeah, I'm hoping to get back playing soccer soon. Some of the other things that I've enjoyed doing, I've really enjoyed spending a lot of time hiking. This is the picture on the top there is a picture of myself and a couple buddies. We went up to the Chilkoot Trail and hiked in the Yukon. It was great. We did a 3-day backpacking trip. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I've done many trips since then. And then this is a picture down here on the bottom of my brother Steve and I in Oregon surfing. Love to do more of that. Just don't get the time. This is a picture of Erin and I on our wedding day. Doesn't she look great? Yeah, it was a beautiful August day. Long time ago, it feels. But yeah, I think we're still just as happy as we are in that picture. And this is our dog. She's a little fatter now and a little older, but this is Montana. She's an Australian Shepherd. The picture on the left is up in the Alpine at Manning Park, and then the other one is a picture when she was a puppy. So she's 10, and she's been a great dog. This is another backpacking picture. We went into Mount Roar, it's called, and it's a beautiful little lake there. And this is with Erin's family. Erin grew up backpacking and doing that kind of stuff, and I sort of came into it later in life. But yeah, we love spending time in the backcountry. So, and photography is also another hobby of mine, so it kind of lends itself nicely to backpacking. So this is a picture in Manning Park. We did a 3-day backpacking trip that time. And just a picture of the alpine flowers. Another place that I love is Oregon. We hopefully will be heading there next summer with the boys. And these are just some pictures of a trip that Erin and I took a while back down to Oregon. That's Mount Hood. It's the tallest mountain in Oregon. It's just beautiful. It was beautiful hiking in there. And this is actually Manning Park again. It's one of our favorite spots. Okay, so this is the day that James was born. He was born in New Westminster at Royal Columbian Hospital. He weighed in at a whopping 9 pounds 8 ounces, and he is the smallest of the three. So this is 8 years ago. That was a picture of him on the day he was born. He was really bright-eyed, and yeah, so I just snapped that one moment while he was just lying there staring at me. This is Christmas time, his first Christmas. And yeah, you can see he's always really bright-eyed. He's always got a smile on his face too. And this was in Vernon. We went up there. You can see that he was also pretty chubby. He's got some Michelin Man arms going on there. And this is when he's a little bit older in the fall of it, the following fall. And just some cute pictures we took. This is Ben when he was born. Ben was really strong when he was born. And Ben was 10 pounds 9 ounces, which is really, really big. And he was born at home. You can see he's doing a muscle man pose. That's still the same day that he was born. You can see he's not quite as bright-eyed as James. He's just kind of snoozing. And this has been a few weeks later and James holding him. I just love that shot. And this is the biggest of the three. This is Samuel. And Samuel was born 3.5 years ago, and he was 11 pounds 4 ounces. So he was a bit of a whopper. This is our tent trailer, and we love camping. Since we had the boys, we decided that it would be easier to easier to camp in a trailer than a tent. So we bought this beauty a while back. She's 20 years old. Looks 20 years old, but she still works wonderfully. This is Ben making a funny face a few years ago at camping. This is Aaron with Sam at Alice Lake, another one of our most favorite spots. This is Ben at Alice Lake. And the boys together there. Just a family shot, kind of a neat perspective. Alright, these are more recent pictures. This is Sam. And if you can't tell, he's riding standing up. He's only 3.5 years old. So that's pretty good. He loves his bike. He just whips around on that thing. This is Ben during a race day out at Pet Meadows BMX track. All the boys race BMX bikes. So this is Ben during a race. Now this is James. He was just testing out the track in North Vancouver, and he was just getting a little air. And these are the three guys this summer. We took another camping trip. We went up to Manning Park and Ellison Park in Vernon and Shuswap. And so this is at Manning Park. This is the boys, the older two, jumping from Rainbow Bridge. You can see Ben is, he's heading for a belly flop. And it was a pretty good one. This is at Ellison Provincial Park. Beautiful spot, beautiful little bay, great for swimming. The boys just loved it there. And then this is on Shuswap Lake at the provincial campsite there. And we lucked out with a few days of sun there, and then we got the torrential rain, which actually turned out to be not bad. The tent trailer did pretty good, and the kids just hung out and played games and read and did all sorts of stuff in the tent trailer. Later that summer, we went down to Birch Bay. My parents stayed in a cabin there, and we did the tent trailer thing, and this is our campsite. This is kayaking in Birch Bay. The boys just loved it. They paddled around in that thing a whole bunch of times. It was great. And these are my parents with James and Ben down at the beach. You can see the tide's pretty far out. It was pretty beautiful there. Later this summer, or later in the summer, Aaron and I got to take a trip, just the two of us, down to Portland. So it was a little bit cloudy that day. It was hot though, it was so muggy. But we took this tram up the hill to get a view of the city. Portland is like the city of bridges, so there's so many bridges. You can see a few in the background there. And we also drove out along the Columbia River. So on the top of the picture, that's actually Washington State, and then the bottom of the picture is Oregon. And we drove out to Hood River, and this was just one of the stops along the way. Okay, and finally, this is a picture of Cheakamoose Lake, where I took the boys backpacking this summer. We went actually right before the start of school, and we hiked in. So both James and Ben went with me. They hiked 7 kilometers, and we camped at this lake. It was just beautiful. So we hiked with all the stuff we needed, our tent and our the stove and all the food and our clothes. And they did a great job. They did that 7 kilometers in 2.5 hours. So not bad for young guys. And this is us at the end of the lake, or we're at our campsite. As you can see, even though they had to hike 7 kilometers that day, they were still pretty happy. And the lake was beautiful. It was so cold. All we could do was stick our feet in. And that's it. Hope you learn a little bit about me and the things I love to do, and a little bit about my family.